You guys got to take an evaluation and really get honest. You're trying to get to become a champion over here, whatever your goal is. But where you're currently at, is your mind tending to go negative too often, right? If it is, then what are we going to do about it?
Hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jacquie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our studio for High Performance Parenting. In studio today, we have a number of childrenos. We have Miss Abbie Lalene Francis.
Hello.
We have Bella Sita Francis.
Hola.
Crissy Lou da-do Francis.
Hello there.
And Juicy D-Wagon Francis. And Eliana Tomato Francis.
Bonjour.
Okay. It is a Saturday, and we're all had a slow morning. We're a little slap happy, but we figured we're going to do some podcasting today. I do have a question for you guys first, though. What does a house wear?
What?
A dress.
Oh!
As an address?
That was good. That was very good, Daddy.
Yeah, that's a good one. I told Mom this one, but I don't think you guys have heard it. Why is Peter Pan always flying?
Why?
Because he never lands. I love this one because it never grows old.
Dad! Oh my gosh.
Come on, that's a good one, and you know
That
it.
is a good one.
I took the shell off my racing snail thinking it would make him faster, but if anything, it just made him more sluggish. All right, enough of that. Okay, so what do we got coming up here pretty soon, you guys, in your life? We have, here we are, early August. So what is next on your guys' schedule for fun things to do?
Well, we're going on a trip this week. Mm-hmm. That's one thing.
Mm-hmm. Where are we going?
We're going to Washington and to a rodeo.
Rodeo. Got to dress up like cowboys and cowgirls, don't we? It's gonna be
Already
pretty
been
fun.
planning it.
Of course you have. Okay. What else? What else is coming up?
We have all of our sports starting up, which is super exciting.
Yes.
Jers and Ellie have their cross country starting, and then me, Abbie, and Crissy have golf tryouts.
Mm-hmm. And you guys excited?
Very excited.
Very excited. It's only a couple weeks away, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I know you all have gotten considerably better since last year. You've been doing a lot of off-season training, correct?
Mm-hmm, for sure.
What have you been doing?
We've been trying to get out at least once a week, and then we've been doing a lot of like chipping games.
Once a week.
To play
golf.
Yeah.
Okay.
What were you talking about?
Sports in general.
But, okay, got it. Yeah, and then we've been doing a lot of running. So like our tennis coach had us do a challenge for running, and then Jers and Ellie did it with us to get ready for cross country, and so we've been training really hard this summer to prepare for all the sports this fall.
Mm-hmm. So instead of just sitting around eating Cheetos and bonbons all summer, you guys have been getting out there. And how far are you running? Multiple times a week?
We're running between 2.8 and 4.3 miles 3 times a week.
Yeah. Okay. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
You're getting faster, getting stronger.
For sure.
Y'all look amazingly in shape, which is pretty cool, which is awesome. So, with sports coming up, I've been wanting to talk to you guys about this anyways. A lot of this stuff won't be brand new information for you, but it's really good reminders and things that you guys are going to want to remember when you are starting to decide and participate in becoming better and better athletes. Okay, because y'all want to win, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all guys all want to be the best that you possibly can be.
Uh-huh.
Okay, remember to come close enough so you can hear you. We have a bunch of kids sitting around one microphone, so they're all kind of fighting over it. So I want to talk to you a little bit about how to actually start developing a champion mindset. And one of the things that you need to know is that you don't get born with a champion mindset. You guys understand that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Instead, you have to cultivate it. You have to develop it. You have to choose it. You have to become intentional about wanting to create one. Now, you also realize that right now, you have to be super honest. Like part of part of getting good at anything is, if you want to go somewhere, meaning you have a vision of where you want to go, maybe for you guys, it's a certain level of finishes or in cross country. Maybe it's a certain amount or certain score this year for golf. Eventually, by the time maybe you're seniors, because you're going into your sophomore year for the twins, and Chris is going to be a freshman, you all be playing together. Maybe there's a goal by the time you're a senior of how well you can place, whether it's locally or within state, correct? Mm-hmm. But in order to actually get to a vision point, one of the most important parts I think that gets overlooked a lot is most people don't evaluate where their actual starting point is. Right. So in other words, like if you know how we do a GPS in the car sometimes, well, where that we're saying, okay, we want to go to X address that we've never been before. What's usually the first thing the GPS asks for?
Your location.
Yeah. And it'll say, can we use your precise location? If you say no, then how does the GPS know how to get you to the next location if it doesn't calibrate where you're currently at, right? Well, a lot of times people get a vision about playing sports. Hey, I want to have, I think one of your goals right this year is what, Drews, for cross country? What do you want to do?
First place in one of the races.
You want to get at least a first place, right, in one of the local races. And it's competitive. There's how many kids in the cross country team last year?
50 maybe.
Was it that?
Both
was it
boys
like that,
and
Crissy?
girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 25 for each. But when you're competing against 3 schools at once, I mean 75 kids.
Right. So a race is about 75 kids. So so if you're trying to win, you got to beat 74 people. Mm-hmm. Right.
And that means that if we're saying a third of them are 6, third of them are 7, third of them are 8, that means you're competing against 25 8th graders.
Right.
And they are strong 8th graders.
Yeah, for sure. So it's really competitive. So that's one of yours to get at least not first place, but you're always going to probably try to stay top 5 no matter what this year, right? What about you, Ellie? You're just entering into 6th grade, so it's 6th, 7th, and 8th grade all competes together. What's your goal this year?
I want to get below 10th place.
Okay, so you want to do 10th or better. You want to be a top 10 finisher, probably pretty consistently, and you're doing pretty good so far. Even when we're doing kind of time trials here for 1.5 mile races, and you've been hanging with everybody pretty well. So you're there. So now the question is, okay, so if I want to get there, actually, let me ask you girls first, you triplets. So what's the goal? What's the golf goals this year?
Our golf goal is we want to be on the varsity team this year. We want to earn our spot as a varsity player on the golf team, and we want to be one of the best on our varsity team. Okay.
Do you know exactly what that would probably mean, though? Like, it's probably a certain score.
Yeah, we would have to break 100.
Okay, so you got to be 100 or less.
Yep.
Okay, which is very doable. But when you first start out in competitive golf, last year you were learning all the rules. You guys were learning how to connect well with the ball. I mean, it isn't like you started golfing when you were like 5 years old and you've been, professionally trained. So there's a lot of growth curve. And so last year, was a good experience year. That's what we knew it was going to be. This year, you're trying to actually make the varsity team. Then what do you want to do next year? Like, just thinking through, like, you make the varsity team this year. What do you think your goal would be next year?
To win districts.
Okay, to win districts. Okay, and then what about the senior year?
Win state.
Okay, there you go. So that's a really good progression into like what you guys would like to do. Now, again, though, we got to back up. So that's part of the vision. You got to have some kind of clear vision in my mind. You got to start keeping this stuff in front of you. I would probably start writing some stuff down and keeping it on your wall in your bedroom and on your mirror in your bathroom or somewhere where you see it all the time. That says something like what? What would it say?
Probably I'm a district champion. Mm-hmm. I am
in blank year.
Yeah, in blank year, like junior year or sophomore year. For me.
I'm a state champion my senior year in golf, right? Right. This year I am a varsity player.
Right.
Right. But you should write it down, big letters, because one of the things that's, what do you guys think is more important? Do you think thinking positively is more important or not thinking negatively? Which one do you think is more important? They're both important, right? But which one do you think is more important?
Thinking positively.
Actually, it's not. They've done a lot of studies on this because you usually, whatever you keep your brain on the most is what you draw yourself to, what your subconscious will start learning, what your brain will actually start positioning you to bring into fruition. You guys have heard of the reticular activating system, right? That's where when we bought the Bronco out here, now we see Broncos everywhere, right? But that's because your brain now, subconscious level, is trained to actually notice it. So were the Broncos there before we bought ours?
Yes.
Yeah, they were. They were just as many before, but now it just seems like there's 3 times as many. That's such a powerful part. So now if you think about, okay, what if I fail this year? What if I don't make the varsity team? If that thought comes into your head the most, then you're probably going to start finding ways subconsciously to screw up making the varsity team. Okay? Instead of going out there with confidence, expecting to win, you'll go out there hoping you get a good shot, but probably guessing you're probably going to mess it up and won't make it. Do you understand? It's really, really important that you don't let your mind dwell on what you don't want. Okay? You guys following me?
Yeah.
Okay. You look like you're not sure, right? We can talk to one kid at a time. I know you're all swinging a microphone around.
Yeah, we're kind of looking at each other like who's gonna respond because we're all like over one microphone. All of us are like engaged. Like we're very much like, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. It kind of links up to a lot that you've been teaching us in the past. Like, make sure you look for the reason why you're gonna make it, rather than the reason you're not gonna make it. Mm-hmm. So make sure you're focusing on, I am gonna make varsity. Then what if I make JV? Mm-hmm. Or what if I don't make the team at all? You have to focus that you're gonna make varsity. And again, that goes back to making confessions over yourself, keeping it in front of you, things like that.
And also resisting negative thoughts. You see, that's an important thing. You got to remember, your brain is just going to do whatever it does if you don't intentionally direct it, right? Mm-hmm. So, like we were talking, I know, Crissy, one of your goals in the future is not necessarily to become a professional athlete, right? Mm-hmm. What is it you would like to do in the future?
I would really love to become a world-class public speaker.
Yeah, an educator,
teacher,
like coach, probably,
right.
Some level of that. But you want to do it on a very high level. You want to be on big stages. You want to be impacting a lot of people's lives. And so, what do you have to do in order to get there?
Well, I need to take the extra time to be educating myself and starting things that I can start now, like Redwood Super Kids, where I can help teach kids to grow into the adults that can accomplish their dreams. Mm-hmm. And then I can move to higher levels as I get older, and as I get more educated, I can move into higher levels of speaking to small groups of adults, bigger groups of adults, and keep educating myself so I become the person that people want to listen to.
Right. It's good. And so now when I asked you, I said, have you really thought about this much before? What'd you tell me?
I said, yeah, I think about it all the time.
So how do you think about it all the time?
Well, I think of things that I know that I may not be equipped for yet, and I think of them as a reality. So I think of myself on big stages talking to lots of people, and people like really being engaged, and maybe coming to me afterwards being like, that was super impactful. Or I think of being on Redwood Super Kids Zooms and everybody being like really engaged and answering all the questions, and then huge improvement that their parents see and things like that. I just dwell on these thoughts instead of, well, what if that doesn't happen? I dwell on more of what could happen, and it really keeps my mind focused and me on the path of getting those dreams.
Okay. So when do you normally do this thinking?
Normally right before I go to bed.
That's perfect, by the way. You know that usually whatever the last thoughts are you have, or the last things you read before you go to bed, do you know that they usually work on your mind all night while you sleep?
Yeah.
That's why the last thing you put in your mind before you go to sleep is so vitally important. Mm-hmm. This is why the last thing you want to do is have like news in your head or some kind of a scary story, right? You don't want stuff like that. Or again, sitting there and thinking about, geez, I got this tournament coming up. What if I just fail? What if I embarrass myself? What if this? What if that? These negative things, then you don't even realize it, but your brain, your subconscious never goes to sleep. So now it works on it all night. I know you guys know that I listen to a lot of like spiritual growth stuff when I fall asleep. Mm-hmm. I'll put in a headset and I'll listen to stuff. And it's because sometimes for me personally, my motor mind will go crazy like at night, and if there's a lot of pressure and stress, it can tend to almost go negative. Right. So one of the things that I do is I make sure I'm putting positive in it. When I first started doing that, it was distracting. It would kind of keep me awake, which wasn't great. And now it's almost like the minute I put it in, I've trained myself. So it actually puts me to sleep now. I can go to bed wide awake. And when I listen to something, it's wild. I'll wake up and I listen to a 60-minute audio from Andrew Womack or something. Yeah. And last night I was listening to Spirit, Soul, and Body, right? And I woke up this morning, I'm just like, I don't even remember the intro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
but I know my subconscious absorbed it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's why sometimes like I'll even be talking to people or coaching people, and some thoughts or statements will come out of my mouth, and I'm just like, I don't even know where I learned that. You know what I mean? You have done that too?
Yeah, I've had that before where I'm like, I didn't even know I knew that.
That's right. And you're kind of impressed with yourself?
Yeah.
Like, wow.
I'm kind of like, that was really good,
That was
Crissy.
really
I don't know
good
where I
info.
got that from.
I know. People will ask me all the time, well, did you read a certain book for that? I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not even sure where I learned it. But I just want in this episode here, we're going to do a series of this, but the first thing is you guys got to take an evaluation and really get honest. You're trying to get to become a champion over here, whatever your goal is. But where you're currently at, is your mind tending to go negative too often, right? If it is, then what are we going to do about it? Yes, Abbie.
I was just saying, I was thinking of a recap right now in my mind of the first video that we're doing of this whole thing about a champion is you got to think, dream, believe, and then speak like a champion. It's like all the steps. So first you got to think about it, and then you got to dream about the future, and then you got to believe it's actually going to come true, and then you got to speak it into existence.
Okay. Good stuff, baby.
I was just thinking of the
That's
whole
great.
conclusion.
That's great. All right, we'll continue this in the next one. Hey everyone, thanks for listening and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. See you next time.